Hello guys, you're welcome to this video. In this video, I will show you how you can understand the command clauses in SQL, and I will take you through some queries that we're going to be writing. I will see how you can understand the command clauses in SQL. So the first clause is select clause. It indicates that you will be selecting data from the tables. Okay, so once you click on the select clause, you start listing the columns that is that you want to filter out from your tables. And the next clause is from clause. So this indicates which table you are selecting the data from. And the where clause, this works similarly to filtering in spreadsheet because it returns rows based on a condition you name. And we also have the order by clause. This is used to sort result return in the query, either in ascending or descending. So sorting is done using this clause. Okay, so we're going to head on to our SQL Query Management Studio, where we're going to be writing some queries so that we can understand how to use these clauses. Okay, so this is our SQL Management Studio workbench. So, so before we first of all write a query, so we must set our database before we start. Okay, so in these tutorials, we're going to be working with past and post data. So to begin with, we have to go over here where we have the master. We just click on the drop down, and then we take through the data past and post, and then we click on it. So now the data is being set. Okay, so whatever query we're going to be writing, as far as we're getting the syntax correct, is going to be executed. Okay, so even if you write the syntax correctly, but you didn't set the right data to use, you're going to have an error. Okay, so the past data is being set, so we can begin writing our query. So the select clause is used in this way when you want to call up any column that you want to analyze on. So we said select star. Select star is telling us that we want everything to be displayed. Everything in that table should be displayed. Okay. So once you put that, the next command you give is from. You can see from my slide, from indicate which table you are selecting the data from. Okay. So when you come over here, you will see the list of tables. In the last video I made, I actually explained how you can check through and see your tables and the columns involved in it. Okay, so when you just click on the databases, you check through the data that you are working with, which is actually possible. You click on the plus sign. It's open and you see the list of tables. Okay, so you click on the plus sign right beside the tables, and then you go down. You will see the list of tables. We have the account tables, we have the orders tables, the regions and the cell reps, the web events table. So we are going to work on the orders table in this query. So we say from orders. Okay, so immediately you start writing orders, it shows you over here. Can you see table patch and posse dbo.orders? You just click on it and you run your table, you run your query. So let's start from orders. You want to see everything. Start means you want to see everything on in that table. Okay. Once you notice when this cursor is on the star, it shows you the list of columns in that tables. Okay. So what you are doing, what this query is writing means that you want to call up every column that is listed here. Okay. So if you don't want to call up all the columns, you just write out the column that you want to see. So for this query, we want to see everything in the order table. So you just highlight it and then you click on execute, or you type F5 on your keyboard and then it will run. Okay, so you can see down here we have the columns that are contained in the orders tables. Okay, we have the ID, we have the account ID, the account as the asbestos ceiling. This is the quantity. This is the product that was ordered. Okay, this the total asbestos ceiling that was ordered, the gypsum ceiling, the POP ceiling, and the total orders for this ID and this account ID 1001. This is the total of the orders it made 169. You can see over here the total and the total asbestos sales amount. Okay, so when you just click on this arrow, you see you have a view of the column headers. Okay, so this is the table called orders. Okay, so let's just check through other tables and see the content of them. Okay, so let's start from, let's say the next table we have accounts, from accounts. Okay, so just when you type account, you see the table, you just highlight it and then run. Okay, you can see down here, this is the tables called account. Okay, so you just want to see everything in the account table. Okay, let's immediately go to the next table. So we say select star from region. Region is the next table. So you just want to see content of region table. Okay, so region table has two columns. This is the ID and the name, the region name. Okay, so let's move on to the next table. So we say select from sales rep. So immediately you type, just click on it, and then you run the query. Okay, so this is a list of the columns in the sales rep table. So we have the ID column, the sales rep name, and the region ID. Okay, so let's just get to our last table. So our last table is a web event table. So we take through from web event. And then we click on execute. Okay, so this is a list of columns that is contained in the table called web event. Okay, so now we're just gonna do some. Let's say we want to have a view of the ID and account ID over here, ID and the account ID of the web event, or we just want to have a account ID and the ID and the channel. So what you do is you write select ID, comma. So in the other video, I explained what a comma does. A comma is a delimiter. It separates the columns, different columns. Okay. So to list another column, you have to use a comma. Okay. So the next column we want to see have a view of is account ID. Okay. And then we have the channel. We want to have a view of the channel. So now you have to let the server know from which table do you want to select these columns. Okay, so you said from web event. Okay, so from web event table. So let's just highlight and see our result. Okay, so now you can have a view now. We can have a view of our ID, account ID, and channels. Okay, this is the three columns that we are interested in. Okay, so you notice that the occurred ad is not showing. Okay, like we have over here, because we use star over here, select star. Star means that you need everything in that column to be displayed. Okay, but if you don't want everything to display, you list out the columns that you're interested in. Okay, that you want to analyze on. So you list them by separating them with a comma. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so let's say we want to select the time. We want to see the time in the order table. So we say the date path. You want to see the month of transaction. So let's say date path. You can say year minus occurred at. Remember in the last video, I told you that you can choose to use a lowercase or a capital case. You will still get your result. Okay. So now we want to select the occurred at. Okay. So we say selected part. This Y shows that you want to have a view of the year. Okay. So from which table? From orders. Okay. Let's just click and see what we have there. Okay. So this query that we just run selects that part YY occurred at. This is to show us the year contained in this database, the year of transaction in the orders table. Okay, so in the orders table, the year begins with 2015. You can see 2015, 2016. We have 2014 as well. You can see a view of 2014. This is where you have a view of the different years of the transactions in the orders table. Okay, if you scroll down, you see different years. This 2016, we have 2013, we have 2015, 16. Okay, so this code will query will bring to you the years. Okay, let's say you want to have a view of the month. You can come over here and just change this YYMM. Okay, and then run the query again and have a view of it. Okay, so you've seen the months of transaction in the orders table. These are the months. the month number. Okay, so you know that number 1 is January, February is 2, March is 3rd. Okay, you can fourth is April, and so forth. Okay, so this code helps you to have a view of your code ads. Okay, so let's say you want to have a view of the year, the month, and the time of occurrence. That is what I'm going to show you now. Okay, so to do that, we say select date chunk. I'll show you the difference between date part and date chunk after we run this query. Okay, so now this is the difference between date chunk and date part. Okay? In that part, you have a single value, a single number, or a single number showing either the year. If you are looking for the year, it will show you a single year, or either you're looking for a month, it will show you the month number or the day. Okay, so but for date chunk, it will show you the year, the month, and the time. You can notice from here, it's showing you because you are looking for the year. That is why we have 2015 over here, and everything is like now we have 0.1 is a month, 0.1 is the day, and the whole of the time here, all the time here is 00. Why? Because we're looking for the year. Okay? So everything here, if you just go down, you'll see that everything on the month side is 01, which is January. So you notice that the year 2016, 2016, 2014, the year part is changing. Okay? So this query helps you to have a view of your year, your month, the day, and the time. Okay, so now let's have a view of the month now, as well as the years. So we say select date part, sorry, date trunk. Select date trunk, then you do MM. This MM stands for month. Then we say occurred at from orders. Okay, so you just run it and then see what we got. So you can now see that we have a view of our year, the month. Okay, now this is the month of 10, which is 10 should be 10 is October. Okay, so this is the month of October. We have November, we have December. You can see over here 12 is December. Okay, so it's showing us the year. This code is showing us the year, the month. So let's say you want to have the view of the day as well. You can let's just copy here. And then come here and you just change the month to DT, which is for day. Okay, let's just run it and see what we got. Okay, so now you can see now that we can now have a view of our year, the month, and the day. So the day here is 6, the next day is feed, the next day is food, and the next day is second. Okay, so if you want to have a view of your year, the month, and the day of the different transactions that occur in the orders table, you can choose to use this code rather. Okay, so just make a comment. If you are interested to have a view of the year, month, and day of transaction in the orders table, you can use the code below, or we can just say, okay, the code below. Okay, so if you are interested to have a view of the year, the month, and the day, use this code. So once you write selected from TT or code as from orders, you have a view. You can see over here 2015, 10th, and 06. Okay, but if you want to have a view of the year, the month, the day, and the hours, that is the time, You can just copy this, you paste it. Let me just write a comment over here so that it will help you understand. Let's just copy over everything here. Just paste it over here. If you're interested to have a view of a year, month, comma, and you can use the code below. So when you, for this one, you have to come here, just print dd and then put h into the r. Okay, the dead part r. You can see over here, dead part r. So you just copy, just highlight it, and then you run it. Okay, so now you've seen, we can now have a view of the year, the month. You can see the date over here, the year, the month, the day, and the hour, which is 17. Okay, so we are done with this. Let's get to another query now. Let's say you want to count. Let's say you want to count. Let's just go to select star from orders table. That's the orders table that we're working with. So let's say we want to count everything in the asbestos ceiling. You can see the column here called asbestos ceiling, and the asbestos ceiling so was 123. The quantity by this account ID. The quantity that was bought was 123. Gypsum was 22. Okay, so now you're interested in asbestos ceiling. Let's count the asbestos ceiling that was sold. The quantity. Sorry. So we say select count. Count is an aggregate function. I will explain this very soon. We have counts, we have sum, we have mean, we have which is the minimum and the maximum. These are the aggregate functions. We are going to get to that very soon. Okay, so let's say we want to have a count of asbestos ceiling. So once you do that, this is a column. You have to close the bracket. It's a function. It's a function, so it has an open and close bracket. So whenever you see an aggregate function, it has an open and close bracket. Okay, so we just click from the table called orders. Okay, let's just execute and see. So the total asbestos ceiling in the orders table is 6,912. Okay, so you've seen over here. Okay, 6,912. Okay, that is the total asbestos ceiling that was ordered. Okay, so let's say we want to know the total asbestos ceiling for the year 2014, because this 6,912 is the asbestos ceiling for all the years in this order table. Okay, in this order table we have a year from 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016. That is the years that is in this orders table. Okay, but this 6,900 is the total count for all the orders for the year 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016. But now we're now interested. Let's write. We want to have a view of the total asbestos ceiling for the year 2015. To have a view of the total asbestos ceiling for the year 2015, we are going to use another command known as the weigh command. Okay, so we can see from our slide over here. Okay, so they said the weigh clause. This works similarly to filtering in spreadsheet because it returns rows based on the condition you name. So the condition here is that we want to have a view of the total asbestos ceiling for the year 2015. That is the condition that we have attached to it. So let's just go to our studio. So to do that, let's just copy. So to do that, let's just copy the select asbestos ceiling from others, and then we just copy it and then paste over here. Okay, and then we now put the weigh clause. Weigh. Now, where do you want to get this information? So we can say where date part. Yeah, because we're interested in the year 2015. Okay, so now we say select asbestos ceiling from which table? orders table where date part, which is the year. We are interested in the asbestos ceiling, the total quantity of asbestos ceiling for the year 2015. Okay, so this is the condition, date part, year occurred is equal to 2015. This is the condition that we have just brought in now. So now let's just run and see what we have here. So when you execute that value, you can see in the year 2015, we have a total quantity of asbestos ceiling that was ordered, which is 1,726. Okay, the total asbestos ceiling for the whole of the year 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016 was like 6,900 and something, but for the year 2015, we have 1,725. Okay, so let's say we want to have a view of the total. Let's just copy the comment here. We want to have a view of the total POP ceiling for the year 20. Okay, let's just say 2014. Okay, so to do that, you start with your select clause, select count, that is the count, the total number, the count of POP ceiling. From where? Order table. Now we're gonna put a condition where that part year occurred at is equal to 2014. Okay, so let's just have a view. It's been underlined here. What could be the problem? Okay, we didn't put a comma. Okay, so that's all now. So let's just highlight it and run. Okay, so in 2014, we can now see the count of the POP ceiling, which is 1,306. You can do same for other quantities, other products. We have the asbestos ceiling, we have the POP and the gypsum ceiling. You can do same and then get your result. Just have a few of it. Okay, so now you've noticed something, and there's something I want to show you over here, which is layers. You can see from our result over here, they're writing no column name. Okay, no column name. We did not name this column. So to do that, we are going to name this column. To do that, we come here and we put alias. Alias is a kind of a naming of a column. You can name your column any name that you want. Okay, so we can name to start naming a column. You start with has. You can name your column as okay. Remember in the other video I talked about naming a column. That you name a column with a snake case. You use a underscore to join two words together, and you should try as much as possible to avoid space. You can see from this POP ceiling, we have an underscore here to join POP and ceiling. So if we don't put this underscore, what we're going to have is we're going to have an error. Okay. So naming your column, you use underscore to join two words together or more words together. Without that, you're going to have an error because the system will not understand which word are you using. Okay. So to naming your column, you can choose to use as. Okay, let's say we want to name count of POP. Let's say ceiling. Okay, let's just put underscore here. Count of POP ceiling. You can choose to use has. Has is a command for alias for naming a column. Okay, so you name this column POP, a count of POP as count of POP ceiling. So when you run this, highlight it and run, you see there will be a change when you have no column name. Okay, you've noticed. So once we have executed, you've seen that the column here is now count of POP ceiling. Okay, another way is that you can choose to avoid writing AS and just attach this name over here. Okay, so when you remove that AS, you still get your code right. Okay, so we still have count of POP ceiling. Okay, so that's the way to name your column. You can do same with others. Okay, so let's move on. Although we have come to the end of this video. In the next video, I'll show you the order clause command, and I'll also show you the group by clause command, and also the having clause command. Thank you for watching.